Oh, hey there. Welcome to the Average Joe's 1 Acre Homestead. Today, we're digging up some blueberry bushes from the front yard and transplanting them into the backyard. So if that's something that interests you, well, then follow along. All right, welcome back. So as I said today, I'm transplanting my blueberry bushes that I planted into this front yard of mine here last year. I decided that I don't really like this location too much for my blueberry bushes. And I'll also apologize in advance if the video gets a little choppy. It's hard to film videos here in the front yard. Not always traffic going by, but seems whenever I turn my camera on, it's non-stop. So might cut in a little bit in and out to reduce some road noise. Yeah, so unfortunately where I live, it is kind of out a ways from the city, but there are some nice views down the road, and a lot of people from town do come out here for drives and stuff like that when it's nice out. So it does make it a little bit hard to film out in the front yard. Thankfully, most of the stuff I got going on is out back. So like I said, yeah, just basically gonna run you guys through how I transplant my blueberry bushes. So the ones that I got here that I'm digging up, these actually came from my old place. I had them for a couple of years planted, and then when we sold the house, I was like, yeah, you know what? I got too much time and money invested into those bushes. I'm not leaving them behind. I'm taking them with me. So that's what I did. Thankfully, planted them here last summer. Yeah, so I decided to just transplant them out into the front yard last summer. I thought it'd be a good spot. Then I soon realized there was a lot of shade here from the trees once the leaves grow in. They're not getting a whole lot of sun during the day, maybe just in the morning for a little bit. And it is quite windy here, so right in the front of the yard, you're getting a lot of wind here from the valley. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant them out into the backyard, and I'm going to reestablish my high bush blueberry plants back there, and we'll talk a little bit more about what I know about blueberries while we're doing that. But right now, let's finish getting this last one here dug up so we can get it out back and start doing some replanting here. Okay, so thankfully I am the one that planted this here last year, so I got a pretty good idea. I dug my hole quite a bit bigger, so I know that I can pretty much just get my shovel under there and not worry about damaging the roots too much here off on the edges. And it's pretty nice, easy digging because it's all like compost and peat moss that I put in there last year, so really nice, soft. I'll basically just cut all around the plant, nice wide circle, and then try to get up under it, pry it up out of the hole here, break any roots that are growing into the soil here. Last one I pulled out of the ground was pretty heavy, so I don't expect this one to be any different here. Try to do this in a way that I don't hurt myself. There we go. That wasn't too bad. All right. Just knock any extras back in the hole here. I had a nice pile of dirt here that I had dug out from my pond last year, so more than enough to fill this hole back in, this one and the next one beside it. All right, let's get this guy loaded up in a bin. All right, so this is all I've been doing. I just got a nice tote bin here and pick them up, dropping them in there. Oh, I'll load that in the back of the side-by-side to haul it up the hill because I got bad knees. Should have got a Claire's General with a dump box. Would have been so much nicer back here, but this machine's got more power, a little funner to drive. Alright, so here we go. Once you got it figured out where you want to be planting your blueberries, you just go ahead and start digging your hole, I guess. So you want to go at least twice as wide as what your bush is, but 2 to 3 times as wide. Wider the better. And you're going to want to dig down about a foot, I guess. Or I'm going to want to dig down, I should say. So let's go ahead and let's get this hole dug here. At least we got nice soil back here, so it's usually pretty easy digging. Alright, so now that we have our holes all dug, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding a bit of peat moss down at the bottom of the holes and mixing that into the loose layer. And then I'll be also mixing some up into the old existing soil so that we can kind of backfill the hole and kind of fill in around the blueberry bushes here. So what peat moss will do, should help acidify the soil a little bit, and a little bit of moisture retention too, I guess. Let's get that just mixed in there with the original soil that's in the bottom that I broke up here. That should help. So now what I'm going to do is probably the hole is a little deeper than a foot, I'm going to imagine. So I'm probably going to have to kind of fill it in and add peat moss as I go until I get it to the right height, and then I'll mix some up on the side and fill it in around. I'd say I'm probably going to go about a 50-50 mix. It's almost just about right. Let's test fit her, see how high she sits. Perfect. Nice. I eyeballed that one pretty good. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll just keep adding some soil around and mixing in some peat moss and some of this ammonium sulfate here. And keep in mind too not to bury your roots or your main crown any deeper than what it already is. So what I'm going to do is leave that a little higher and build up around it. A little more peat moss in there, we're good with this. Be good to go and repeat the process in our 2 other ones. Just a note too, you could also add sand in here and a couple other things, but I didn't have any sand, so we're not going to bother with it. I found my blueberries have been growing just fine the way I've been doing it. And you don't want to add compost either, because compost has a high pH, and blueberries like an acidic soil. That's why we're adding the ammonium sulfate. So if you were to put compost in there, it would totally defeat the purpose. It would raise the pH of the soil, and your blueberries would be very happy. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so now that I have these placed down in the ground here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give them a little trimming. Not that they really need it, they're not very old plants, but I am going to cut off some of the deader stuff here just to kind of make it look good here, not hinder its growth too much. Just basically looking for anything that looks dead and unproductive. Like down here, this little branch here doesn't even really look that great. So maybe I'm just going to get rid of that. And if you're going to get rid of something like that, go all the way down to the ground too. And this one here doesn't look very great, but still got some life down here, so we'll let that grow for a little while. Let that branch out. That's pretty dead up there. Alright, everything else seems to look pretty good. They've been holding up the winters pretty good here. Nice. Well, now at least this plant here in particular has been transplanted a couple of times throughout its life, so at least now it's in its forever home, and hopefully no more transplanting. You can just let it grow and do its thing here. Nice. So we'll just continue to do this to the rest of them here. I think there's only one. I think I'd already done one there the other day, so besides that, I'll just see what happens here with this little twiggy here. But you know what, I'm just going to get rid of that altogether right there, and hopefully that'll let this take off and do some growing. Alright, we'll leave this guy alone now. Forever home. Lots of blueberries. So this one here, same deal. Just looking for anything that doesn't look really alive or like it's going to do much. So what I'm looking for are these little tiny buds here on the ends of the branches. The ones that have those, you know, that's newer growth, you know that's going to produce some berries. But then anything that looks sickly or dead and doesn't have any of those on there, might as well just get rid of those on the tips and allow the rest of them to branch out around it. All right, so there you have it. Got our blueberry bushes all transplanted here. It's actually been a couple of weeks since we transplanted these three, and then since then I picked up this one. So this one here is called Friendship, and the reason I grabbed this one is because it is a direct pollinator with this guy over here, the Chippewa. So basically, as you can tell here, you can see here, these guys here are already starting to puff out for some leaves, and they're doing it at the exact same time, so they'll flower at the same time and help cross-pollinate each other, where the other two, they're a little bit further behind. This one here looks like it's just getting ready to start here, if you can tell. And then Ozzy, what are you eating? What are you eating there, puppy? Stop eating stuff off the ground. And then yeah, you see over here, this guy's just starting to as well. So these two over here they'll all kind of probably help cross-pollinate each other, but it's always good to have more than one variety. So basically in this whole area here, my plan is I am going to mulch this all up here as soon as I can get some mulch, and I'm going to start transplanting some strawberry runners from my strawberry bed down by my garage down there. And then I'm going to get this all kind of filled in with strawberries and stuff, and see what else I can kind of plant in there at the same time. You can see here I got my rhubarb going off on the side here. So it's going to be like my food forest area. This kind of whole area here is kind of the plan here. So yeah, a lot of stuff going to go on over here. So I just planted a new peach tree this year, and I got my cherry tree over there. Oh yeah, and we got the asparagus over here too. So a nice little row of asparagus, hoping to see some spears popping up soon. This will be their second year. Next year I'll be able to start eating some. All right, so there you have it. Blueberry bushes are all transplanted here. Hopefully they take nicely in their new spots, and they grow nice and big to give me lots of bounties of blueberries. Nice. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I do have 3 different varieties. So blueberries, they like to have 2 different varieties next to each other to help with cross-pollination. And I guess it helps produce better crops and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm just happy to finally have them in their forever spot here, and they'll be staying here, and hopefully they'll be able to grow nice and big and produce lots of fruit, like I say. So I'll probably be adding a couple of varieties to the collection here this spring, and I guess we'll show you those if I do get them. But I'm looking for the pink lemonade, and then maybe just one more variety of high bush blueberry, just to say that I haven't even for I like collecting things, what can I say. So yeah, I mean, hey, if you enjoy this content at all, please go ahead, smash those subscribe and notification buttons. If you already haven't done that, it'll really go a long way towards helping me build my channel here. But for now, I'm starting to get pretty hungry because it's pretty much supper time, and I still got lots of work to do. So y'all ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. So we'll catch you on the flip side.